A local organization that advocates for the disabled celebrates its 30th anniversary. And 1,000 Shoes for 1,000 Smiles will tell you about a charity that's looking for your donation. Stay with us. Human Services Forum begins now. Hello, I'm Jan Callahan, host of Human Services Forum. It wasn't that long ago that persons with disabilities faced a mountain of challenges when it came to civil rights. That's changed in 30 years, and the Independence Center, located in Norfolk, is one of those organizations that has helped push a lot of good things forward for the disabled. And I'm so pleased to welcome Stephen Johnson, who's the executive director for the Independence Center. And he has just an incredible amount of information to share. And we were talking about 30 years and how that can fly by, but 30 years is a lot happened in that period of time.
Yeah, it's been amazing to see the change, not just physical barriers and accessibility, but to see the attitudinal barriers change over the years. Our center has been in existence for 30 years, and of course we were much smaller when we opened the doors, but just to see the way society has changed has been a fascinating experience. Now, with the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act in 1990, that established disability rights, made it civil rights. So we got the law in 1990, that the disability community nationwide was fighting for. And then now we're dealing with implementation. And as you know, you can have all the laws you want on the books, but if someone's not abiding by them or enforcing them, they're not going to do you much good.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen some tremendous changes. The boardwalk down at Virginia Beach is totally accessible now. The Harbor Park here in Norfolk has received awards for its accessibility, and we worked with them on the design. But I think the most important thing we have done is we've helped empower the lives of about 1,000 people a year who reestablish their self-esteem and self-confidence. And they've had people their whole life telling them, you can't do this, you can't do that, let me help you. And we do group counseling and individual counseling to give people that self-esteem and confidence and be willing to take that risk. Maybe they'll fail, but at least they're going to take that risk of getting a job or moving into their own apartment, and take that, look at it as an opportunity rather than sitting home listening to those voices that say you can't do it.
Yeah, and if you haven't been through that, that's just got to be incredibly depressing and oppressive feeling, when you don't feel that they have a door open for the future. A lot of that has changed. You mentioned the younger generation and those young people who may be living with a disability that have a whole different perspective of what the world is like compared to, say, somebody who's 50 who has experienced life before there was even talk about considering opportunities.
Absolutely, they do. It's a whole different attitude. You talk to a group of people with disabilities that are in their 20s and they're going to college or whatever. It's a whole different. It's more of a, hey, this is an opportunity I have and I should have it, and I'm going to make the best of my life. I've had my disability for 44 years, and back then it was, you have to be creative and find a way to overcome the barriers. But there wasn't a feeling of I have a right to these opportunities. It was create your own. It was interesting when I was during college, my last year, I was doing an internship for counseling, and it was on the second floor of a building. and there was no accessibility. There was no elevator. So we had to create a program called Project Uplift, where the Army ROTC guys came over in the morning and in the afternoon and helped me up 2 flights of steps.
Well,
back then that was, that was the solution. Today it would be required to have an elevator.
Right.
That's,
but I imagine too some of the creative ideas that came out of need may have been incorporated into the law, or have become more of a reality and a part of the whole texture of disabled
and I think
population.
because people with disabilities were involved to the extent that we were in the development of the Americans with Disabilities Act and the Virginians with Disabilities Act, you had people there who were living the experience that were talking about and giving advice, and that's where our center is based on the whole philosophy of consumer control, where people with disabilities speak for themselves and they make the decisions. Half of our board and staff are people with disabilities, but that's our model of services, because who would know better than somebody who has a disability talking to someone else who's setting goals for themselves.
When you were going into college or getting ready to, you had no idea you would be doing what you're doing now.
No, I never had the goal of working in a civil rights organization. I was going to be a college counselor, and I just saw a little thing in the newspaper about Tidewater Independent Living Center, and it said they're accepting resumes, and that they're looking for people with disabilities. And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. So I just sent my resume in and didn't hear anything for 6 months. And then I got a call say, we have a part-time, temporary, 10-hour-a-week job for a peer counselor. And I'm thinking, what's a peer counselor? And so I went for my interview, and I got there 30 minutes early and pulled out the brochure, memorized it. And so when I went into the interview, everything was fresh in my mind, and I got the job. But I worked 10 hours a week to start out, and it was only supposed to be temporary. But the interesting thing was, in order to get my foot in the door, I worked 40 hours a week, but I was only getting paid for 10. But back then, that's what you needed to do. And it's been a tremendous career. I've been the director for 22 years, and it's been an extreme challenge. But it's made a reality, the thinking that you can't do it all alone. You need to do it with other people. You need to have community support.
So you're doing it with other people, not by other people.
Right, and we've had financial support from all of the cities for almost 30 years. Government grants, federal grants, and we raise a lot of money on our own. And we have just a 30-year anniversary celebration. Once a year, we raise money through our annual meetings. So, but you have to be creative as a nonprofit these days to survive. And but we're up to almost 30 staff, and things are going real well right now.
So 30 staff is, that's an accomplishment. Your organization has grown tremendously. Do you recall any milestones that?
Well, one of the milestones that was really important for the center is about 7 years ago we moved into our own building, and instead of renting from someone else and spending $100,000 a year to lease a space, we said, let's invest in this building. So we were able to purchase a building that gave us twice the amount of space, and even allowed us to bring other organizations in with similar missions who kind of network with us now in the building. So that's been a milestone. The other thing, and what our center's priority, as well as the other 15 independent living centers across the state, ours is deinstitutionalization. We do a lot of work and providing Medicaid services and other services to help people who want to get out of nursing homes get out. There's more than 6,000 in Virginia right now, young people in nursing homes that want to get out, but they just don't have the resources to do it. So we've worked really hard to implement programs that would do outreach in nursing homes and then work with the individuals.
I didn't ask you this before, so if you say no, that's okay. Do you enlist the help of volunteers who get involved in some of your
Yeah,
causes?
we do use volunteers for a variety of projects. The actual counseling and training services and the advocacy is provided for the most part by paid staff, but what they do is organize on a grassroots level. Say we might be going to a hearing in D.C. or in Richmond about a disability issue. We would organize a group of individuals to go with us. So there's a lot of ways to volunteer, be part of the movement, without being a staff.
When you said being part of a movement and all that, it is hard work. It's can be very tedious and very detailed to get an inch ahead of where you have been.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the funny thing, well, it's not funny, but it's just when you think you're making some progress, something will come up that say attitudes still aren't where they need to be. I was meeting with a legislator a few years back and spent an hour and a half talking to him about the movement in the center. He was a new legislator, and I thought, wow, that was a good meeting. And on my way after the meeting, he came up to me and straightened up my tie and said, "Aren't you something in that suit?" And I about fell out of the chair. It's like he didn't hear a thing I said. And then he said, "How many people live at the center?" Yeah, we're not. Nobody lives at the center. We're a service organization.
So there were some assumptions made by this person that kind of came out toward the end.
Yeah, and it's just amazing that there are still some attitudinal barriers that need to be dealt with.
Well, and having the Independence Center there is, of course, part of making that happen. That it is hard work, and there's always somebody or a generation coming along that may either understand or not understand. But they're going to be addressing things in a different way, but there's still things to address.
Yeah, it's exciting, and we do a lot of work with youth with disabilities, to prepare to take over for us, basically.
So do you work with very young children, or do you...
We actually work with all ages. Some of the children we work with are receiving Medicaid services as young as 6 months old. And we just recently got a person out of a nursing home and into their own place in age 97. So...
Whoa!
Her last wish, she said, "I really want to be at home." So she spent her last year with her family in the home. We were able to help her get the supports needed to do that.
What a wonderful story.
So we work with all ages. The majority of the people we work with are adults, but we do a lot of work with children and very old people too.
Wow. Well, yep, you've got challenges every step of the way, because we all have different needs depending on where we are in our lives.
Yeah.
Stephen Johnson, thanks for coming and sharing some information about a really important organization and a cause that just people need to I think to embrace and understand better. And
well, thank you for inviting me and
congratulations on 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years. If anyone would like to come by and see the center and meet some of the people we work with or the staff, and you want to get more involved in supporting disability rights, I'd be more than happy to have you come by.
All right, great. And we also put the number of the Independence Center up on the screen a few times while we were talking, so anybody who is watching and may be interested can certainly give a call and find out more, whether they need some assistance or need some advocacy services, or if they just are interested in getting involved in other ways. So we hope that you'll be hearing from them too.
I hope so.
Thanks for the invitation. All right, and thanks for being here.
It's been a pleasure.
When we come back, we're going to take a look at a mountain full of shoes, but they have to be brand new, and we'll tell you more about that in just a minute.
Have you heard? The U.S. Treasury is phasing out paper checks for Social Security, VA, and other federal benefit payments and going electronic. If you currently receive federal benefits by paper check, you will need to switch to direct deposit or to the Treasury recommended Direct Express Debit MasterCard. If you plan to apply for federal benefits soon, you'll want to decide which electronic payment option is right for you. Visit godirect.org to learn more or to make the switch today.
Be free. Nice, Dad. Nice, Dad. Nice. Charles! Nice, Dad.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of siblings in foster care who'll take you just as you are.
When we think about donating to the community, we may think of coats or gloves or hats, but one of the items that people may need most are what are on your feet, and they are shoes. And we have a fundraiser coming up, actually a shoe fundraiser, called 1,000 Shoes for 1,000 Smiles. And I'm very, very happy to introduce Miss Lizetta McKesson.
Hello.
Hello. And she is the founder of this organization. She also happens to be one of our co-workers at the Department of Human Services. And that connection is actually very important, and you'll find out why in just a minute. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for sharing the information about a really great idea.
Thanks for having me.
Now, 1,000 Shoes for 1,000 Smiles is, where did you get the idea? What was the beginning of this?
Well, the summer of 2004, I went to Louisiana to visit my grandparents, and we visited a church that the minister is a family friend of ours. And at the end of the service, he asked his congregation to don't forget to bring brand new shoes to church. And so I asked him, I said, what is that about? He said, well, because we live in a very rural area, a lot of these families can't afford new shoes for their children for back to school. And so what our church does for the community is purchase the new shoes, and we give them to them the week before they go back to school. And I just loved the idea, and I wanted to bring it back to home to our community. And so I did. So December 2004 is when we had our first 1,000 Shoes for 1,000 Smiles shoe drive.
Okay, so you're coming up on 7 years.
Yes.
Wow. And you're going to celebrate that with, of course, your next shoe drive.
Exactly, which is December 17th. And it's going to be at First United Presbyterian Church in Norfolk on East 29th Street. And it starts at 7 a.m.
Okay, 7 a.m. My
Yes.
goodness. I guess some people are up at that time. It's up on the screen, too, folks, if you want to get a phone number and the address. So 7 a.m. till when?
Until about 1:30
in the afternoon. Okay.
Yes, that's a good time. Usually that's when everyone has been there to, get the new shoes that they wanted.
All right, great. So how many kids do you generally serve?
Well, last summer we gave 502 kids brand new shoes for back to school. This summer we gave 348 kids brand new shoes.
So we can use more shoes.
Exactly.
What you're seeing on the screen here are just a couple little shots from the a book that you've got for your organization called 1,000 Shoes for 1,000 Smiles. Imagine that.
Yes.
It's very nice because it has some pictures in it of the volunteers and as well, and you need those.
Yes,
and
do.
as well as the kids who are benefiting from some of the shoes that were donated. Tell us a little bit about the what it is that people would need if they were to donate something. What are the guidelines, and what is it you need to
to donate, they would like to donate money. They can go to any local BB&T and just let the teller know, I want to donate monies to 1,000 Shoes for 1,000 Smiles, and they would make sure that the money was put into the account. Or they can call us at 757-639-4138, and we will come and pick up the shoes from them if they cannot get to us. And like we say, it is for brand new shoes. Because these kids, they are used to getting a lot of used things, and you know how it feels to put on a brand new pair of shoes. You walk a little harder, you step a little faster, and it just makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And that's what we want these kids to do. Our organization is about building self-esteem up, and that's one less thing that they have to worry about when they step into school.
Wow. The kinds of shoes that people might donate, does that matter?
It does not matter. The only thing that matters is that they are brand new. It can be a sneaker, it can be a dress shoe, it can be a boot. It must be closed-toe shoe, though. We don't want any sandals because it is for school. And we want them to be able to wear them year-round. Wintertime is here, so we want boots, sneakers, shoes, and uniform shoes as well.
Uniform shoe, okay. So there would be a specific type of shoe that they would get for the uniform?
Because certain schools have like the Mary Jane type shoes. Certain schools like those type of shoes for girls. But what we really need, we get a lot of girl shoes, but boys need shoes also. And I think people, when they go shopping for shoes, it's fun for them to pick out girl shoes. But we have some young men, they want to wear new shoes also. So we like for our, donators to please, think about the boys.
Okay, and the boys don't necessarily have tiny feet sometimes.
No, actually, last summer the Washington Wizards donated shoes to us. 8 pairs, sizes 13 through 22.
Oh my goodness.
And we had 4 young men who came in. Their moms were like, I know you don't have their sizes, but we actually did. They were size 14, size 18.
Oh my goodness.
And the size 14 was for a 14-year-old. He hadn't even finished growing yet.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Wow.
So it is a need.
There is, and that's I know that was a surprise, but it's the need is there,
yes,
regardless of the size of your foot. We just don't happen to have that size foot.
Right.
Well, great. So think of the guys, and also, if you think of larger sizes, that's always good too.
Yes.
So do you have an age range for the shoes?
The range is not an age range, it's a grade because it's for school age kids. Okay. So it's from kindergarten up to 12th grade. Okay. So we have people who are 18 and 19 who are still in high school. So it is from kindergarten to the 12th grade. As long as they are in school, they can get a pair of brand new shoes.
Okay. Is this 1 pair per child?
1 pair per child. So you could have a family of 10 kids. Each child in your family would get a pair of shoes.
Wow. And as far as donating these shoes, people, if they had the ability to drop them off, would they drop them off at the church?
Yes, they can drop them off at First United Presbyterian Church in Norfolk. And again, that address is 745 East 29th Street in Norfolk.
Okay, great. So that takes care of that. So they can drop them off or have them picked up if need be.
Yes.
How does this work? I know that they can donate the shoes, but how do they get into the hands of the children?
Well, we have partnered up with Norfolk Workforce Development, the Human Services side, and what we do is basically we have vouchers made to cover each pair of shoes that we have. And we give the vouchers to the program director, then she allots them out to the eligibility workers, and then they, from that point, choose which families they feel are truly needy and are in need of these brand new shoes. And based on that, that's how we give our children in the community the brand new shoes, because we want to make sure that truly needy families are receiving these shoes. But we have also reached out to other homeless shelters and other organizations also to bless their children with shoes.
Okay, so but what better way than to have basically you have the information and the facts about a family and
yes,
being able to help them out. So how many people do you have involved in your organization that aren't not necessarily volunteers? I don't know. I guess you're a volunteer too.
Well, we're a small group. We only have 6 board members, but we have volunteers who help us on the day of the event.
Okay.
And usually that ranges, we need at least 20 because we have, groups of people. So 6 people are not going to be able to handle the large amount of people that are coming in. So usually about 20 to 25 volunteers, but we're always are looking for volunteers to come out and help us, and they can just reach out to us through our website if they want to come out and volunteer.
So what would a volunteer do? What do you need?
Basically, what we have a table. When you come in with your voucher, you sign in. Basically, you give the voucher to the table volunteers, and then they direct you into the room where the shoes are. And the volunteers, basically, you come in, the child comes in, they can have any shoe they want. And I mean, it's because our donators are stores like DTLR, Foot Locker, Payless. You're looking at Jordans and, you know, shoes, BAPS, shoes that some of these kids would have never been able to get on their own. So when they see these, they're like, can I have these? Yes, and the volunteers basically are there to just help them try the shoe on, make sure they can fit the shoe, and then to bag it and then escort them out, just to make sure we have a flow going so that we keep moving.
Okay, so they're part of the organization, the assembly.
Exactly.
The assembly of that. So are there particular age groups you're looking for volunteers? Can they be?
Well, we look for high school on up.
Okay.
Because we want them to be able to handle, you know, the kids and some of the parents.
So yes, there's the social skills that you need too, is that right? And crowd control and, and those types of things. So you have to be assertive. Yes, you do. You do. You really do. No wallflowers. No, not at all. Because sometimes we have parents are really aggressive when they're coming to get these shoes. The kids may want a certain type of shoe and the parent may want them to have another type of shoe. And so we have to tell the parent, if they can fit that shoe that they want, that's their shoe. Okay. You know, let them have that shoe. Okay, so that's the message to the parents right here, is that, you know, and you also teach your child how to behave, so you don't want them doing what you're doing. Exactly. Okay, great. So volunteers, and they can just call the number that we had put up on the screen earlier and ask for you or anybody? Yes, they can ask for me. Okay, all right. So that's Lizetta McKesson that you would be asking for, and she would be happy to take you on as a volunteer, just as long as you can make sure that you can stand up for yourself and for those shoes. Exactly. So they get into the hands of the people who need them most. What a great idea. Thank you. You have a goal this particular year. I know it says 1,000 shoes, so is that your goal? That's our goal every year until we hit it. That's our goal. Wow. Yes. All right. So please donate. Please help us reach 1,000 shoes. You know, we've been here since 2004, and the closest that we got was last summer when we got the 502. That's only half. Okay. So we want to be able to bless 1,000 children with brand new shoes. Okay. Because they are so very basic and so important. Exactly. And with winter coming, very important. Yes, and it doesn't matter where they come from. They can come from Payless, Kmart. It doesn't have to be a name brand. It just has to be brand new. And never worn. And never worn. Because there can be that difference too. Okay, well, thank you, Lizetta, for your sharing us great information and providing such a wonderful service to kids. I know they appreciate it. All right. Thank you. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next time. Bye.